and welcome to What's in this week's Oban Times with me, Kathy Griffiths.
Me, Jodie Hagan.
Me, Owen Wild.
And me, Sandy Neal.
Well, what a week of stories and even a little guaranteed sunshine we have for you in paper and online. We love hearing from you about what matters to you, and it's great to see your photos, whether it's celebrations, milestones, fundraising goals, life achievements, bugbears too. You can get in touch with us by emailing editor@obantimes.co.uk, calling 01631 568 or go onto our social media platforms. Right, let's get started with a taster of some of this week's news. We have great news for Argyll that a £70 million rural growth deal has been signed by the Scottish and UK governments with the council to turbocharge innovation, projects, jobs and our economy over the next 10 years. Hip hip hurrah, I hear you cry. You can read more about some of the projects that funding's going to be supporting, including an investment at Oban Airport that will deliver Scotland's first specialised drone training and research centre. You can read about that in this week's OT and online. Go to westcoasttoday.co.uk or pick up a printed copy in newsagents, supermarkets and petrol stations. Jodie, what have you got for us?
Well, Spotlight Musical Theatre Group brought some sunshine to Oban when they took to the Corran Halls stage for their latest production. The uplifting musical Sunshine on Leith features iconic songs from the Proclaimers, and audiences were dazzled by the all-singing, all-dancing performance. If you didn't get a chance to catch the show or simply couldn't get enough, then pick up a copy of this week's Oban Times or visit www.westcoasttoday.co.uk to pore over some wonderful photos of the feel-good production. Oban Gaelic Choir recently returned to the West Coast after performing as international guests at a music festival in Sardinia, where they connected with other groups through a shared love of singing. The Oban Ravens squash team has raised £2,000 for charity at their annual bingo fundraiser. And finally, Oban Golf Lounge on Stevenson Street is on a mission to increase the number of girls and women taking up the sport. They hope the high-tech simulator will provide a stress-free environment for players to develop their skills, and we have been talking to clubs in the area who are eager to get more female golfers out on their courses. Read all about that in this week's OT or online.
Thank you, Jodie. Glad you enjoyed the show. We all love a bit of sunshine, don't we? And what have you got for us this week, please, Sandy?
Thank you very much, Kathy. So the biggest focus of the week has been on the Isle of Mull and where to build a new school campus. The decision last Friday was called a defining moment for generations to come. At an emotional meeting in Kilmorey Castle Chambers, parents asked councillors to reverse Mull's damaging depopulation and enforced child separation policy. But in the end, the decision did not even come down to a vote. After a year of passionate debate, Argyll and Bute councillors agreed to build Mull's new school campus in Tobermory again, in line with officers' recommendations but against community wishes. You can read a full account of what was said at our website or in this week's paper. For the reaction, I will now hand you over to Owen, who, as a former pupil of Tobermory High and now a reporter covering his home patch, pretty much has a PhD in the subject of the Mull campus. Owen.
Well, thank you, Sandy. Yes, Mull has reacted following the decision of Argyll and Bute Council to pick Tobermory as the site of its new school, and generally, people are not happy. Locals have decided a path forward, but if you want to know what that is, you'll have to read it in this week's Oban Times. We've got a lot of very passionate comments in there for you to read as well. A clean-up operation is underway on Craignier Pier, which aims to create some much-needed space and remove vehicles which have been abandoned there for decades. Oban Baptist Church is encouraging people to continue using its uniform swap shop after usage rates skyrocketed last year. And in this week's Lochaber Times, Highland Council have submitted plans for the infrastructure upgrades on the Corran Narrows crossing, right after the MV Corran returned from a delayed 4-month-long refit.
Thanks, Owen. Well, that's it from us this week, so stay well, everyone. And it's goodbye from me, Kathy Griffiths.
Goodbye from me, Jodie Hagan.
Goodbye from me, Owen Wild.
And goodbye from me, Sandy Neal.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey, hey.